Wait for it to pop up. We are live. What up, Under Big Dog Nation? Hope everybody had a good weekend. We're back with our
What up,
Tuesday
under big
stream.
dogs? What up, under big dogs? Another sports show. We live, baby. We live, Gator. What's up, baby?
Yeah, how was your weekend, King?
It was a great weekend, man. A great weekend, dog. Got a lot of work done, man. You know, life is good, dog. What's good? How was your weekend? How was your weekend, everybody at Under Big Dog Nation?
It would have been
How was
better
y'all
if the
weekend,
Niners won
man?
last night. It would have been a lot better if the Niners won last night. But
Yeah, I mean, we got to talk about them
yeah,
today. We got to talk about them guys,
sadly,
man.
I wish we didn't have to, but it is what it
Mm.
is, man. We'll talk about them. But yeah, we got another show for y'all today. We thank everybody for
What's that?
support. We just got our first really great comment today. I don't know if you're watching, but we appreciate any support that you guys following. Anybody who's following, watching our shorts, watching our YouTube videos. We really
What
do
did that
appreciate
comment
it.
say, Gator?
It said underrated channel. So we
It is
underrated.
underrated.
We way underrated, and that literally feeds into our name. That's what's funny about it. That's what makes it even
It,
better. Our first
hey, man,
comment
look
is
at Gator.
literally our first comment is literally our first really positive comment is something related to not even related to sports. Nobody we got a bunch of sports comments like people joining the discussion, but the first positive conversation that we had about us in particular about the show and about our community was underrated channel, and that's literally feeds into what we are about here at Under Big Dogs. That's where the name comes from. You know, we're under big dogs. We're underdogs, but
Yeah.
we still have a voice. We have a big voice. So
Amen. The
that's what
way
we're
the way
about.
you say it, the way you say it is, we're underdogs because of our circumstances, but it doesn't mean that's who we are on the inside, man.
Yeah.
Who we are on the inside is big. That's where the big comes from in under big dogs. And again, we're only underdogs because of our circumstances. What are our circumstances? We are
We not Stephen A. Smith.
sports. We,
That's
we
what.
we
That's
are a
what.
sport. We are a sports show that is using the beautiful World Wide Web to try and make our sports voices heard. We're not, on national television. We're not in the spotlight. You know what I mean? Like we are truly just as equipped to talk sports as those who are in the spotlight, but we don't necessarily have the spotlight. That is our current circumstance, but it's not who we are. We are big. So we gonna get there though. Oh, believe that. Believe that.
Yes, sir.
Believe
So
that.
you
and
know,
that, and, that, and that's and that's and not to harp on it, but that's the the understanding behind the name, right? It's like don't succumb to your circumstances. Be who you are on the inside and overcome your circumstances, and then put yourself on the map. Don't succumb to your circumstances. You're an underdog because of your circumstances, not because of who you are. Straight up.
I couldn't have said it better myself. But
Mm.
look, I know the CEO gets really mad at me at the time restraint, so we got to move on. We thank you guys in the
Amen.
community, but we do
Hurry
have
up.
to move on. You see him? He went on a tangent, and he's telling me to hurry up. Um, we got the sports news. I'll go through this really quick because two or three of the topics in here we're actually going to be talking about a little bit more in depth in the show. So we got a two game sevens in the. I mean, can't get any better than that. If you're a baseball fan, I mean, you're in heaven right now. Two game
Wait,
seven.
whoa. You said it's two game sevens? I thought
There
one is over.
one is over, but I'm
Oh, you,
saying
oh,
if
you
you
said
were
there.
there, well, there
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Go ahead. I
the
see. Yep,
conference
I got it.
finals, two game sevens. As a
I got
baseball
it.
fan, what more could you ask for? Rangers did advance. They beat the Astros. That series was crazy. It was 2-0 Rangers, then 3-2 Astros, and then the Rangers then came back and advanced to their. They'd never won a World Series in their franchise history, so they are there. They got a chance to do it. And then tonight it starts at 8 o'clock. We got the D-backs and the Phillies are in a game 7 as well. It's in Philadelphia, so that should be a fun matchup. Um, we'll switch over to the NBA a little bit. We got a couple contract extensions. Giannis was finally extended to only 3 years. I was surprised about that, but I mean, I guess not because it's the NBA. But 3 year extension for $186 million.
Wait, well, but what you mean only?
I think
You saying
that
you said
I think it's low, but I mean I'm not
low
really
in terms of like length?
yeah
Oh, because he's
compared to
making
other
60
sports
mil a year.
obviously. Oh, he has a 3-year contract already. You said? What'd you say, King?
No, I'm saying no. What I'm saying is, and I think it plays along with Damian Lillard's contract because Damian Lillard's contract will be up in like 4 years.
Yeah,
So
I get it. I get it. I'm just saying
he's
in
just
other
trying to align
sports.
himself with. He's just trying to align himself with what makes the most sense.
Oh, I
Yeah.
trust me. I know that's how the NBA works. That's not common though in sport. Like that's not common. That's not common. Usually the superstars sign long term contracts. Even like the best player on your team usually signs longer extended contracts in other sports. But we'll talk about that in another show in more in depth. James Harden still absent from the Sixers. I don't know what's going on with that, but he's still not showing up to practice. Onyeka Okongwu, I hope I said that right, agrees to a 4-year, $62 million deal with the Hawks. That's pretty good. You want to share any light about that contract?
Nope.
No. Josh Green also signed a 3-year deal with the Mavericks. Which one of those? Which one of those? We'll give a little thing. Which one of those two contracts do you like the most? Which signings
I'm
do you
not even
like the
gonna lie
most?
to you. Being a being a basketball guy, I don't know too much about those players,
And those are
and I feel a
big.
little
Those are
embarrassed
big.
about
Those are
that.
pretty big contracts. 62
Those are
million.
big. Those are
So
definitely big
we
deals.
gotta look into that a little bit. Um, we'll go and now we'll finish with the NFL real quick. Eagles trade for All-Pro Kevin Byard with the Niners loss last night and the Eagles win on Sunday. And then with this move, it looks like the Eagles are really the NFC favorite now. Um, Kevin Byard is an amazing safety. So I mean they filled in a really big need in the Eagles secondary. I hate to say it, but the Eagles are looking stacked. James Ford, the running back for the Cleveland Browns, is going to miss 2 weeks with an ankle injury. I don't think I missed any other major significant injuries this year, but we'll move on to the show. We'll get the show
Thank
started.
you. Yeah. Woo!
That's the sports news for
Showtime,
the week.
baby.
Hello, Batman. How's it going, man?
Yeah, what's the
Welcome
deal?
back to the show. I
What's
don't
the
know if I
deal?
really like this question, King, but we'll start it off like this. Not looking so purdy lately. What stands out about Purdy's recent struggles? We're
Oh,
talking about Monday Night Football from last year,
oh,
from last night. Um, I will
oh,
I I will go last, I guess. When it comes to this question, I'll let you guys take the floor first.
oh.
What stands out about Purdy's recent struggles?
What stands out is he is what I first thought he was last year. He's a controlled quarterback by his head coach. He don't have no if the plays don't work that the coach give him, he's out of sync. He's out of sync. Period. Like you rush him out of the pocket. If you change the defense up and you fool him like you're gonna rush and you drop back and the receivers is not open. He don't know how to improvise on plays. Like in other words, call an audible for the play. Like he can't read the defense. He reads what his coach tell him to do, and that's what he looked like for the past 2 games that he lost, and he lost to some bad teams. Sad to say, and he looked not too purdy, and he looked not too purdy. And I agree with that because again he looked too controlled. He looked too controlled. Um he didn't want to make no mistakes. Between that and he didn't do like get out the pocket. He didn't want to get hurt. It seemed like he like, nah, if I go out there, it's for one, is running out of Shanahan's plays. Two, I might get hurt. I might get hurt. I never really got. Every time I get hit hard, I get hurt. So he looked controlled. Like he didn't look like a quarterback that to do like a Lamar Jackson or even
Mm.
even my man from Buffalo, like Josh Allen, but they didn't look to Josh Allen, who, like I said, all these plays as the season goes on, everybody's coming back to order. Miami didn't look like the team they thought they were. The Jets, that showed me the Jets are better than they are.
You going in depth. We got a whole show to talk about these type of situations.
I
feel what you're saying.
Yeah, King.
Yeah. I mean, what have I been trying to tell the whole world? What have I been trying to tell the public? I've been getting pushback that Purdy is this, Purdy is that, Purdy can do this, Purdy can do that. What they used to say about Bo Jackson? Like, I was getting all of that. I was getting Purdy was the next coming of what's the guy that used to be the quarterback for the 49ers before Steve Young?
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana. I was getting Joe Montana references, got to people's mouth. I'm like, what are people seeing that I'm not? Like, I mean, I'm clearly seeing a guy orchestrate an offense that is masterful. Now, give him all the credit in the world for being competent in the scheme. Like, he's not a bum. He's not totally a bum to the point where he can't execute what's being asked to execute of him. However, to try to elevate this man into elite status, into elite company, we had a lot of, like Gator said,
elite company is crazy. That's crazy.
We had a lot of you referenced a lot of analytical guys that do this at the highest level. Hence the name under big dogs. This is why we're under big dogs right here.
I mean, I would still agree with that.
This is why we're under big dogs.
There's a lot of vets that don't do what he does still.
Listen. This is why we're under big dogs, because we're underdogs because of our circumstances, not because of who we are. We are well equipped to talk this game. And we had a lot of guys who are in the spotlight who was attaching the name elite to this kid's name. And I love what Shannon Sharp said earlier. He said, if Purdy is elite, then Mahomes, we gotta put a whole nother name for what Mahomes is. And so all I'm trying to get people to understand is he is a system guy. Right now, look, I'm not trying to project his future. I'm not trying to project him as a player where he could be, where he can't. Right now, people was trying to say what he is right now, and I kept trying to say now, he is a system guy. What up, Mars Dogs? Thank you for joining the chat. Right now, what do you think, Mars Dogs? What about Purdy? What he's been struggling with? But right now, he's a system guy, so I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by this. So I need the people that are surprised by his recent struggles to talk about this, because I'm not equipped.
I don't think he's struggling. I can't wait to talk. I don't think he's struggling. I don't understand where this is coming from. It's really.
Okay.
No. Wait. It's my turn. My turn.
Interceptions in 2 games was not a good thing.
One was forced.
Go ahead. I don't care how they came. Don't give me that.
One was forced that
anyway,
night. The last interception he threw, he had to make the play. There's 30 seconds left. I'm not counting that one.
Oh my God.
30 seconds left. They got no timeout.
Go ahead.
Besides the Brown game, Purdy looked amazing last night. Besides one drive, one bad throw. He made one bad read to do you know Brock Purdy was 15 of 19 for 194 yards against the Blitz last night? 15 for 19 for 194 yards? That game was not Purdy. And absolutely nothing to do with Purdy. Zero. I give zero. I give Purdy zero.
I'll let you finish because I already know how to beseech what you just said, right?
I'm gonna move the show around too while I talk about this, because it kind of leads into the next. Why has the once dominant 49ers been struggling? Their defense is playing horrible. They got lit the fuck up last night. Excuse my language. That's how mad I am about this 49ers defense.
Hey. I know my man Mars Dogs is a high schooler, man.
We are not a kid-friendly show. That is not.
Yes, we are, kid. We are, kid. Hey. Our kid-friendly show.
We can't be. We can't be.
We invite them all. We invite
invite everybody. Sadly, I cannot.
Yes, we
put
can.
the
Why
shows.
not?
because it doesn't work out. Like, I'll explain it to you later.
It does work out. It does work out. He's watching right now, and he's a kid, right?
Excuse my
You the
language.
one. You
Excuse
you
my
the reason
language,
why it's
Mars
not
dogs.
kid friendly.
I'm
You the
talking
reason
about my
why it's not
Niners.
kid.
I'm talking about my Niners here.
So
Purdy,
he's
besides that one pass that got away from him on the second to last drive where he tried to hit Jennings on that route and he threw it too late or too early. That pass was bad. I will admit he looked worst game of his career at Cleveland. There's no excuses for that game. You could say whatever the heck you want, but that happens. That happens to the best of the best quarterbacks. I'm not saying Purdy is elite, but he played a very good game last night. First drive of the game, he drives him down the field. Christian McCaffrey fumbles. The next drive, he gets him to field goal range. Jake Moody misses a field goal. I'm sure Purdy was the reason Jordan Addison was able to catch a Hail Mary with 16 seconds left before halftime. And they still only lost the game by 5 points. Brock Purdy was 15-19 against the Blitz last night.
Wanted to make a splash
like I said,
at this
he
year's
had
Polar Plunge.
one porous throw in the fourth quarter, and yes, it wound up losing them the game. I will admit that. He made a mistake. It happens to the best of quarterbacks in the NFL. I am not going to excuse what happened last night, though, with my San Francisco 49ers. Not one sack. We paid Nick Bosa quarterback money. They had no sacks on Kirk Cousins last night against a porous offense. Not one sack. 400 yards on them. 400 yards. And
defensive player of the year?
Defensive player of the year. You got Javon Hargraves, Eric Armstead. They just got Randy Gregory on that defensive line. Not one sack last night. Their secondary got blown up. I don't know what Steve Wilkes was doing, blitzing the whole team on 3rd and 16 with 16 seconds left. There's no excuse for anything other than the Niners defense last night. And they still only lost the game by 5 points because of how good Brock Purdy played. 21
You see how
they would have got blown out if Purdy played bad. They would have got blown out. They would have got blown out.
Brock Purdy should have blown Minnesota
confused.
They should have. They should have. McCaffrey fumbled. They're missing field goals. What do you want? What do you want?
This is what you're missing, Gator. Let me tell you the point.
You naming stars of your team. Now you're down in them.
I'm not doubting. I'm just telling you what happened. I'm not doubting. Of course, I'm not going to doubt Christian McCaffrey. I'm doubting the defense right now. Their defensive line looks horrible. Their defense looks bad, and that's supposed to be the thing that propels these 49ers. If their defense is doing that, now we're asking Brock Purdy to be elite, and he's not at that level yet. No one's.
I was about to say before we move on to the next topic, I want to close by saying this is what you're missing, though, Gator. You said he played a very good game.
He did.
You said he played a great game when he first started to.
He did. Up until the last.
This is what you're missing.
For 3.5 quarters. For 3.5 quarters, he did.
This is what you're missing. No, he didn't play very good. He didn't play great. He played competent. And this is what I keep trying to tell you guys. He didn't turn the ball over. He made safe throws. He didn't get him in the end zone. So they was putting a lot, obviously. So stop making it seem like because he wasn't turning the ball over or because he was making, completions and he was like, none of those things get you in the end zone. He was playing competent football. He was playing game managing football.
How do you think they scored? Christian McCaffrey had 45 rushing yards last night. How do you think they scored 17 points then?
Have caught a screen to the house. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. A screen to the house. That's a play call. That's a play design. That happens
to every quarter. Patrick Mahomes threw a 20-yard screen pass to Pacheco last night. I mean,
but he also threw for over 400 passing yards.
Brock Purdy threw for 272.
Listen.
He definitely hit the over.
Like I said, competent. That's all he is. It's competent. And he played competent football. So sorry. I'm sorry, Gator. I'm sorry. But yeah, let's move on.
Quarterback, trying to not make mistakes. That's how he played. I watched football longer than both of y'all. I watched the lead quarterback.
He was throwing the ball. I don't know.
I mean, anybody could throw the ball. Look at the job.
No, he was throwing darts out there last night.
What's that quarterback that came out of the
teammate? His team failed him last night.
You get my free ticket to
the
tonight's
Bears quarterback,
game.
Division 2. He could throw the ball. He the next Purdy?
Will the Vikings make a playoff push? I got the schedule up here. They can. The NFC's weak. They can.
I
If
mean,
they play like they did last
you
night.
didn't have him in it. You didn't
if-
have him in it.
I didn't.
You didn't have the Vikings
I didn't.
in
But
it.
if they play
All right,
the way
so
they,
now you
if
do?
Kirk Cousins plays the way he played last night, having one of the best games of his career against my San Francisco defense, sure. He threw
Okay.
for over 380
And-
without.
Yeah.
He threw for over 380 without Justin Jefferson. It was a fucking joke. Oh my god! Excuse
And
my
I wanna
language. I am so mad about that loss last night. I can't even explain to you, chat.
That's why
I felt way worse about that game than I did the Cleveland Brown game. And Purdy played awful that game.
I don't see how, but I understand. But they both of those teams are not good teams. And how you expect to quote unquote be a Super Bowl caliber team and you lose to
I
two
agree. I agree.
quarterbacks, two low end teams.
I don't.
Like,
The Niners might be out of my top 5 after that loss. I'm not gonna joke.
you know, and when you get losses like that, you get exposed. You get exposed to other teams.
I mean, they don't have Debo and Trent Williams, so they're gonna be better. But I mean, you can't lose that game. I don't care who. I don't care if
Yeah,
I
you
don't
can't
care.
lose that.
I don't care if
I don't know how far we- I don't know how far-
I don't care if their whole. If the whole offensive line was missing that game, they got to win that game.
I don't know
Yeah,
how
I
far
agree.
behind schedule we are. I don't know how far behind schedule we are.
I actually
Go ahead, Kane. Turn it around. Do you think the Vikings can make the playoffs?
Yes, I have them. I have them in the playoffs as a in my playoff prediction. So
did it
I
last
know,
year.
but
that ain't
clearly
changed.
it's changed. Clearly, you didn't expect them to start 2-4. 1-4.
Nah, don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say nothing.
They said
No,
don't
I'm
be
saying
mad.
clearly
Give a bad-
nobody expected them to start 1-4. So I mean, at this point, we could definitely talk about it a little differently, based on and we did not know Justin Jefferson was going to get hurt. So based on what you're seeing right now, do you think?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sticking to my prediction. Yes.
What you think, Batman?
I say
think he said yes.
because the division is weak. They made it last year, and it was even said that it's gonna be a bad team that's gonna make the playoff this year, and it's gonna be that team. So that's that. It's no big deal. Giants beat them in the playoff last year, so it's no big deal if they do. It's not even conversation.
Okay, I think they
Amen.
can, especially if they played the way they did last night. If they can play consistently like
Do I
that.
got a Molly Karam this thing? We gotta go. We gotta move on. Next topic.
Trust me, we'll make it up.
All right.
Because you got 20 minutes for the UBD for the quick take section, so I'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
Okay. All right.
Quick take should be 10 minutes tops.
All right. Lead us. Got it. Some interesting quick take topics today. That's my.
UBD's the beatdown. How was Alabama able to neutralize Joe Milton in the passing attack of?
Well,
Tennessee?
for anybody that's new to the channel, under Big Dogs, the beatdown is where when we discuss all of the teams through the last few days or over the weekend or whenever it happened that got destroyed, that got beat down. Has to be at least by double digits if we're talking football. If we're talking baseball, we know 4 to 5 runs is a lot. So just teams that got whipped on, we talk about what happened. And first one we got is, what was that, Gator?
Alabama versus Tennessee. Alabama was down 13 at halftime, and in the second half, Tennessee didn't score a point. It was a complete beatdown, and Alabama was able to neutralize the Joe Milton and the passing attack of Tennessee in the second half. What's your thoughts about it?
That's
honestly, I'm deferring to y'all. I have nothing to say on this topic.
I watched the game, and I didn't understand. It looked more so that Tennessee just came out flat in the second half. It didn't really necessarily look to me like Alabama did anything personnel-wise or scheme-wise to turn them off. Alabama came out in the second half. I think it was just kind of a momentum swing right there. They came out 2 plays. They went 75 yards in 2 plays, I believe, and it kind of just swung the game around. Milton just kind of looked off in the second half. I wouldn't say like he had some open receivers that just weren't there. It looked like they didn't pass as much in the second half. It looked like they tried to run a lot, and they just got behind the sticks. It looked like Alabama just won on first down. What Alabama definitely won on first down in the second half and put Milton and company in second and longs, third and long. So I think that was the main difference between the two halves. I think Alabama just was able to neutralize the run game a little bit more in the second half.
Okay, I agree.
You saw the game, Batman?
I agree. It was a boring game. You know, I'm a Alabama. You know, I went to high school and played professional baseball in Alabama, and I'm a big Alabama fan. So, you know, I can't really jump on that because it's very easy for me to say Bama, Bama, Bama.
Yeah.
But Bama is not that team anymore. Now it's Georgia,
Not
Georgia,
anymore.
Georgia.
And I don't even think it's Georgia, Georgia, Georgia. I think Georgia looks bad this year too, even though they're the number one team.
Suspect. They look
They're
suspect.
yeah.
But they well coached though.
That's why college football is so good this year, because literally the college football playoffs is going to actually be really interesting, because any one of the 4 teams that make it this year really going to have a shot. Like, I think Georgia can lose to the number 4 team in the country, whoever that is going to be. I really think they could. Like, we might finally see a 4 seed.
Would you say Michigan is better than Bama and Georgia right now?
I think whoever wins that Ohio State-Michigan game in a couple weeks wins the national title.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
I agree.
I think Michigan has the deepest. Michigan has the deepest team, and I think the most seniors and like the most like they just been through it for the last couple years with Harbaugh.
Ohio State game.
The dudes that finally beat Ohio State are still on that roster. Like, a lot of them are still on that roster. So it's not even about beating Ohio State anymore for them. That's what it was when kind of Harbaugh first came in. It was like, well, how can we think about a national title if we can't even beat Ohio State? Like, he was like 0-6 to start his career against Ohio State. Now they beat him 2 years in a row. Now they're kind of looking past that game like, how do we get into the national title now? And I think they could do it this year.
Oh, okay. What's the next one?
UVD's the beatdown. How are the Diamondbacks able to capitalize off an explosive second inning to force a Game 7? So, yeah, they scored a ton of runs in the second inning of that Game 6 last night to beat the Phillies. Game 7 starts in a couple minutes here. Starts at 8:07. I didn't really watch the game, but I got more to talk about the Rangers, but the Diamondbacks were down. The Diamondbacks were down 2-0 in this series, so they're starting to get their bats going offensively. The Philly pitching was kind of destroying them in the first couple games of the series. They got home, got a win under their belt, and I think they got 2 wins. They won two games at home, so a little home cooking. They finally won their first away game of the series. That's what I think is going to change the series. Can they do it again tonight? I don't know. The Phillies look like just a dynasty a destiny team this year. They made the World Series last year and lost to the Astros. The Astros actually just got kicked out, so they don't even have to worry about them really. I know Texas is really good, but it just seems for some reason that this Philly team is just a team of destiny. I would not be surprised if they win the whole thing. I hope they don't. As a Met fan, I would hate to see that. I'm praying Arizona pulls it off tonight, but it just seems like this Philly team is a team of destiny.
Okay. Okay. We can move on.
How were the Rangers able to win convincingly in Game 7? This one's easy. These guys are just the road warriors. They've won 7 postseason games in a row on the road. They can't win a game at home, but they're just road warriors. Nothing phases these guys. And Houston is not in baseball. Houston is not an easy. That's probably the one place you do not want to play a baseball game right now. That's the hardest place to win. Right now, they are a baseball, like, I know the cheating scandal and stuff, but I don't necessarily even know if the Astros needed to cheat that year to win, because they're really that talented. So, and that's a baseball city right now. I know they got some hype around with the Texans and stuff like that, but Houston is a baseball city. The basketball team hasn't been very good. The baseball team's been good they've been almost kind of like losing that Game 7 took the dynasty, I think, away from them. I can't go that far now, but they were really that good for so long. The Rangers are just a dominant road playoff team right now. Like 7 wins in a row on the road is, quite frankly, remarkable.
Yeah, it definitely is. In baseball, definitely is.
Like
Definitely.
I don't think people realize how it doesn't mean as much compared to some other sports, but
Right.
when you're down 0-2 in the count or 1-2 in the count, and you got those fans roaring behind you. It is not easy to get out of that hole. Like so, they're just made of steel right now, and they're just a really good baseball team. They made some really good trades at the trade deadline. They took somebody away from the Mets. They took a pitcher away from the Mets. I don't know if it was Verlander or Scherzer. I'm not sure who they got.
Verlander.
It was Verlander. So yeah. So hey, like I said, it's gonna be a fun World Series. Whoever wins that, I'm rooting for. I'll root for Texas either way, no matter whoever wins this.
I root for Texas.
Yeah,
too.
they haven't won a World Series ever. So
Yeah, I root for Texas. Because they beat you. Of course they beat you. And I'm rooting for Philly because Arizona beat the Yankees many years ago. And I didn't dig it.
I cannot root for Philly or their fans.
Me neither.
That's another place. That is another place you don't want to play in the playoffs.
But it's because we never lost to Philly, so it's that Arizona loss in the World Series at that.
I'm only saying that because I'm a Met fan and they're our rivals. So
right. So and Philly's not up. So but that's that.
The beatdown. The beatdown. So the Raiders got smoked to a high school quarterback, Division II quarterback. Who I don't even know who this guy. Does anybody even know his name at the top? I'm disrespecting him. I probably should have did some research on this. Do you know the quarterback's name, King? Do you remember it?
It's about the guy that
played for Justin Fields.
The guy that would make the 49ers look just as good as Purdy is making them. You talking about that guy? On the backup, the Bears quarterback, the one that just can't step in and did work.
If Jimmy Garoppolo couldn't do it,
I'm sorry, man. Anybody making that offense look good? I mean, but let me stick to the topic. The kid looked competent. He looked competent, and so the defense stepped up. I don't want to paint him as a superstar. 30 points is no joke, though. 30 points with Matt Crosby running at you every play. It's no joke. I know Ingram got the 3 touchdowns, but they were within the 5-yard line. He didn't break any of them. This guy really moved the ball against a NFL. He's a Division 2-3 quarterback. We gotta give him that. That's not easy. No, he get credit. He get credit for stepping in. He got the game ball.
Well, I heard he was that dude though.
Let me get back to the question though. What if any decision should the Raiders organization make? I don't not necessarily think they need to make any changes. They just had kind of a rough start to the season in terms of injuries. Jim Garoppolo's been in and out of the lineup, so can't get real chemistry with these guys. They've looked good at times. So what are they, 3 and 4? It's not like they're they're middle of the pack team. You still gotta have a game plan for them when they're at full strength.
But when you lose to a Division II,
thank you. That's where I was going to go.
Just a little update. Denver is smoking the Lakers. They scored 34 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
34-20 first quarter. Denver is winning,
which is very surprising. Yeah. I thought the Lakers would come out a little hotter than
that. Which is not surprising. It's not surprising.
Come on, man.
And then you got the Colorado Buffs players at the Denver game, of course, even though they kind of don't deserve to be asked letting what happened to them. But I guess you still got to enjoy life, I guess, right?
No doubt. The game is not the end of the world.
That Shador thing is looking like a meme at this point now.
No, it's not. I love the Shador thing for the black community. Throw the wristwatch up there. But no. Go ahead. What's our next beatdown talk? Right now,
Chiefs offense enters the chat after a slow start to the season. I think the Chiefs are the best team in football. So they're slow start, but they're winning games. It doesn't really matter.
What were they able to do? The real question is
I've
Like
been telling you this. I've been telling you this though.
what if anything changed that made that their offense show up today versus the first 6 games of the season?
I think I think some of the receivers are coming into their own. I think Rashee Rice is getting more playing time. Travis Kelce's healthy. It looks like finally.
He's balling.
And they're getting more opportunities. Their defense is playing very well this year. That they're giving more opportunities to Patrick Mahomes.
Well, I'm talking about with all that said, though, last game was their first game offensively that looked like the Kansas City Chiefs all season.
They went crazy against the Bears. It's been hit or miss with them, but I get it. We're not.
The Bears was probably been 2, and that's it. Don't say hit or miss as if it's more than that. I tried to explain
this to you though a few weeks ago. I don't really necessarily think that they're struggling. I didn't
say the team was struggling. I know what the defense is doing.
The offense.
I'm talking about the offense. Okay.
I'm talking about the offense. I don't necessarily think they were really struggling. I think Andy Reid's just taking a different approach to them this year. I think the play calling's been a little different. They're not taking as many shots as they used to. I think he's relying on the ground game a lot, and I think the play calling is just a little different than most years. I think they don't have that person that can really stretch the field right now. They're trying to still figure that out. And until they do, I think their offense is going to look like this. And I wouldn't necessarily say it's bad. I just think they're like, okay, if we score 20 to 30, 20 to 25 points a game, we're probably going to win most games because our defense is playing this good. So, like, we don't need to force stuff. Let's move the chains, control clock. We don't need to score 30 this year. We don't have to do that.
Okay.
Not only that, but
I don't see them struggling.
They can't.
Like Patrick Mahomes is still being very efficient.
I think he's.
I said not look like the Chiefs' offense. As Christian Wood gets a one-on-one post play and scores on a one-on-one post play. I didn't know that they was looking to feed Christian Woods in the post some. As LeBron James drives to the basket for a quick deuce. 24-40, Denver is beating the Lakers right now, handedly. But let's see if the Lakers going to try to make a run. I think I think it's because and me and the Chiefs fan was talking about this, saying Andy Reid has so many specialty plays, up his sleeve that he has no reason to unveil or reveal any of those plays yet, especially if they keep winning. So I know if when it comes down to it, especially because you see it every time games are close and Chiefs just gotta have a good drive. They always do it, and so I know there's a lot of specialty plays that they're holding on to for when it matters most. And so that's what I attribute it to. What we got next? LeBron James seems to have took a hit to the nose while he drove to the basket.
Dolphins inferior to dominant clubs? I wouldn't say so. I think that game was a lot closer than people think. So I wouldn't say.
I don't know. I think the Dolphins are inferior to dominant teams. I think. Who was the other dominant team? The Bills, right?
No, the Bills blew them out though. That's different.
That's what I'm saying. No,
but the Bills can blow anyone out. The Bills can blow anyone out.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Because we're talking about Super Bowl. We're attaching Super Bowl to this Dolphins team. You don't just get blown out. You don't just get blown. If you're a Super Bowl team, you don't just get blown out by other dominant teams. Like you compete. You are in those games.
It could happen. The Cowboys got blown out by the Niners. I wouldn't say they're not Super Bowl. Like they got a shot.
Well.
Good team.
I know I got the Cowboys to make it to the Super Bowl, but my gosh, you see me reverting back from that take as the season wanes.
You don't realistically think they could win 2 games in the postseason? I
said Super Bowl. We attach Super Bowl. We attach Super Bowl. No, it won't, because they don't get the first.
They're obviously.
Look, we attach. Let me get my take out. We attach Super Bowl to this Miami Dolphins team, and for them to get dominated by the Bills, and in my opinion, got dominated by the Eagles too. First of all, to make it, you got to let me finish my point. I don't know what game you was watching, but to make
I don't
it
know what game you
on
was watching.
to make it onto the beat down segment, you got to lose by at least double digits. All right, so they lost by 14 points. And the point that I'm making is when the Eagles put their physical prowess was on display yesterday. The
help.
Philadelphia Eagles.
They got a little help.
Their physical prowess was on display. The O-line held up beautifully for Jalen Hurts yesterday to be able to go ahead and deliver A.J. Brown another 125 plus receiving yard game. It held up beautifully for Dallas Goedert, the tight end, to go off for, I want to say, over 100 receiving yards as well. That offensive line completely obliterated the pass rush of the Miami Dolphins, and so did the Bills offensive line. And so what I'm saying is, if you give guys like Josh Allen, guys like Jalen Hurts, guys like who they will be facing, Patrick Mahomes, in the AFC, Josh Allen in the AFC, guys they'll be facing in the playoffs. If you give those kind of guys time in the pocket to deliver the football, you're going to get destroyed if you're the Miami Dolphins defensively. And that's what it's looking like. They like where their lapses are when it comes down to playing dominant teams, not being able to get to the quarterback. So yeah, against dominant teams, they look inferior. They absolutely do. Offensively, they look okay. They still look fine when they play against dominant teams. But to only put up 17 points.
It should have been 24. They should have lost by 7, man.
All I'm saying, I don't care about what should have. All I'm saying is,
but it's part of the game. Like, you can't ignore Tyreek Hill dropping a wide open touchdown and then the refs missing a face mask on 4th and 3. The Eagles had no penalties on them.
It's football.
0.
It's football. Because they didn't have to play. Usually when you start to make mistakes like penalties and stuff like that, it's normally because you're a team trying to.
They made penalties, but the refs decided
because
to
you're trying to overcome some challenges. They missed 2 of them. Penalties get missed all throughout the game, Gator. So let's not act like
the play right before that. Tyreek Hill dropped that wide open touchdown.
All I'm saying
I disagree with you there. I think that matters. That was a blown coverage by the Eagles.
To me, it don't matter when it's a part of football. Dropping the football is a part of football. It happens all the time. Like, that's like the ugliness of football is why we love it.
Yeah,
dropping
contested catches or like tough
forget about
catches.
Wide open
that
catches.
rarely happens.
Wide open. It's not rare. I'm using the word rare. It's a part of the game. It's why it's a part of the game of football. Fumbles, interceptions, drop balls. It all encompasses a complete football game. So all I'm saying is to only put up 17 points against a dominant team and then to get destroyed defensively in the manner in which they did by both the Bills and the Eagles, yes, to dominant teams, they look inferior.
You mean their
defense?
To
me, that's my take. That's my take.
You mean
that's
their
my
defense?
Take. What's your take?
What
that's my take.
What defense? What defense are you talking about?
I said, I said their defense got destroyed by 2 prominent offenses.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't.
Period. And so
their defense is not, but they don't even have Jalen Ramsey back. But I don't think much. No, I'm just saying I don't think much of their defense anyway. I expected that to be a high scoring game, but I don't expect much from the Miami Dolphins defense. Like, that's not. Like, to me, the Dolphins are going to win a lot of games, and they could win games in the playoffs just by outscoring teams.
Again, you called them to outscore the Eagles. They put up 17. So I don't know.
See, yeah, but that's where we disagree. To me, that should have been 24. But whatever. Yeah, the scoreboard doesn't show it.
24 would have never even been good enough. So
I'm just saying it's not enough to call it a beatdown. I think they lost by a touchdown, which is fair. It's supposed to be a close game anyway.
We disagree. But if you got something to close it with, you can. Batman, if you got something to close it with before we move on, you can.
I don't necessarily think they got beat down. I don't know, like what. Not only that, they played without Jalen Waddle for like half the game.
Why Why? All I
It
can
matters.
get is excuses.
It's not
As to
excuses.
why-
It's not excuses. I'm
as
saying
to
they
why
played
they're
well.
inferior.
I'm saying they played well without Jalen Waddle. It's not an excuse. I'm just saying, to me, they impressed me. I think especially when they were down 17-3, and they came back without a Jalen Waddle. They scored 14 points without Jalen Waddle to tie the game up.
Some coach. I mean, well, good.
Yeah.
They got.
I'm not saying that their defense got destroyed. Their defense got destroyed. You know, they did cause a pick six. So I mean they did some good things. They forced two Jalen Hurts turnovers.
Totally forgot about that pick six. So that means their offense only put up 10 points.
Yeah,
Bruh.
missed field goals.
Anyway,
missed field
next
goals.
topic.
It happens. The guy
And then,
that
of course,
Saunders missed 2 field goals. It happens.
Oh, what, bruh? The Rams kicker just got released because of missing too many field goals. We know missed field goals happen, so I don't want to. That's a part of their offense.
I'm just saying the
But that's
offense.
obviously
I'm just saying the
that's
offense
obviously
moved the
something they gotta
ball.
address.
I'm just saying the offense moved the ball. The score doesn't dictate how the game went. Is what I'm saying. That's all. I don't. They lost. Yes, it shows they lost by 14, but we know a lot of times that doesn't dictate what actually happened.
Okay.
I disagree with what I saw. I thought it was a closer game.
They got destroyed by 2. They got
I'll give you the Bills one. They got destroyed.
We'll move on. We'll move on. As the Lakers cut it to 12.
What did the Eagles show you Sunday night? I didn't see anything special from them, to be honest with you. But
why did the Eagles?
The only thing that looked good to me in the first half, the way they stopped the Dolphins' run game, that was impressive. I think Mostert had negative rushing yards in the first half.
And honestly, the way Jalen
But
Hurts
it woke up in the second half. The
way Jalen Hurts responded after his performance last week,
Jalen Hurts turned the football over twice. He didn't show me.
Especially in the
past. He showed me he could turn the ball over more. That's
you see how when it's in your favor.
If Purdy did that, if Purdy did what Jalen Hurts did,
when Purdy turned it over, it's because he was just forcing it. But the way Jalen Hurts turned it over, which one was like a fumble that really wasn't his fault. It's just like you don't want to bring it up when it's not in your favor, though.
Batman. What did they do to Daniel Jones every time he fumbles? Didn't the fans and everybody give Daniel Jones when it wasn't really his fault because his offensive line sucks? It doesn't matter, King. You got to protect the football. It doesn't matter. If you're holding the ball for too long and you know the pass rush is coming, that's your fault. I'm not excusing Jalen Hurts for that. If Brock Purdy did that if Brock Purdy did that in the first and third quarter of that game last night, forget it.
Jalen Hurts responded really well to me, in my opinion.
I think Brock Purdy had a better game last night than Jalen Hurts did against the Eagles.
Very well.
The Dolphins.
I say he controlled the game, the tempo of the game. And he did, like, when the team was thinking about trying to come back, he put it together. He showed he was a better quarterback. I'll tell you that.
Exactly. And to speak on that, as far as dominance, like you said, thank you for saying that. Eagles time of possession 36, Miami Dolphins 24. So I don't know what Gator was watching. The Eagles had the football. It felt like the entire game, which I called on Friday's show. I said if they could control time of possession, it's nothing the Dolphins could be able to do about that. And they did. Dolphins had possessed.
When Jalen Hurts, this is what I'll say. And Jalen Hurts does this a lot, so I'll give him some props here. I'll give him a praise because I don't want to be too biased. This is after he threw the pick six, they went on a 7-minute touchdown drive. That's where the game was lost or won, right there. It was a lot closer than people thought because the Dolphins drove down the field right after that possession. Tyreek Hill missed dropped the touchdown, and then the very next play on 4th-3 missed the face mask call. Like, they were really 20 yards away from tying the football game, and who knows what had happened. All I'm saying is I think it was a lot closer than what you're like. To me, it wasn't a beatdown. Like, for most of that game, it was a one possession game. And if it wasn't for 2 blunders, one by Tyreek Hill, one by the refs, we might be having a total different conversation.
To me, the game felt like one team had the game won the entire game. That's all I'm saying.
Wow.
You know when
I can't believe you think
when you're when you're in striking distance in any sport, basketball, when you're in striking distance, but as a basketball or sports analyst, you could tell. Like I know they're in striking distance, but they look overmatched. They're not going to they're not going to they're not going to win this game, even though they're staying in it. And then the Eagles eventually did what nobody was surprised which would start to pull away. And so it's just like the Eagles just felt in control. I never feared for the Eagles
Pulled
at any
away.
point in that football game.
They scored with like
I just
5 minutes
didn't.
left. I know, but they scored like 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That's pulling away. They never pulled away until the end.
I mean, pulling away. That's pulling away in the end. That's exactly what that is. But I never feared.
It came down that I'm gonna be honest with you. To what I saw last quick thing on this. That game was won or lost on those two plays. If the Dolphins score a touchdown there, it's a completely different ball game. If they score, if Tyreek Hill catches a ball, or if they throw the blatant flag, I mean, 0 calls on one team. No team plays perfect. It just doesn't make sense to me how one team gets called for 10 penalties and the other one for 0. And there was proof throughout the game that the Eagles were doing something. So it's a little weird. I'm not going to use that as an excuse, but I'm just saying but those two plays were where the game was won or lost, because 24-24 going into the fourth quarter is a completely different ball game. It's a completely different ball game. They got down to the 20-yard line. They were 20 yards away from tying the football game. Like those 20 yards to me is where the game was won or lost. So like I'm not going to say that was a beatdown. I can't I saw what I saw. I can't just like there were times when
but King Gator's right. It wasn't a beatdown. It was just a lot of mishaps by Miami.
Thank you.
It was a lot.
I would agree with that. I'm cool saying that. Not caused by the Eagles. Not caused by the Eagles. Picks, come on.
Drop balls. A lot of mishaps by the Miami team. Drop balls. You was just screaming about Tyreek Hill dropping balls. That's mishaps, right?
And it wasn't like a contested catch, like he was going to walk into the end zone.
But he don't drop balls.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Yeah, he's human.
Yeah.
So it was not a beatdown, but it was a better game played by Philadelphia.
I'll give
for sure.
It
was a better game played by
I'll give that. The
Philadelphia.
Eagles deserved to win the game, but it was a lot closer.
Like that was clear in my opinion. It was clear.
I'll say that. I'll give you that. It was clear. The Eagles definitely played a better football game. But
they played better.
But Miami didn't turn the ball over as much. That's what I'm. I just it was a weird game. But I'll agree to disagree with most of that stuff.
Okay.
How impressive was Lamar Jackson? Very impressive.
Very impressed.
I was more impressed by the Ravens defense, but Lamar Jackson. The whole team. That was a team. Everybody.
Impressed by the Ravens defense.
Everybody.
I was impressed by Lamar Jackson offense. You got to give the man his due. He balled out.
That Detroit. No. Listen, he balled out. I think the defense balled out. Both can be true.
They had Detroit running through the division.
Both can be true.
They didn't beat no bum team. Why
is it always got to be one or the other? Why is it always got to be one or the other? Why can't both ball out? Why do we have to compare like the defense and Lamar Jackson both had a fantastic game?
No, they did. But
I'm just saying, like, it's really hard to stop that. Like, I expected Lamar Jackson to put up points against the Detroit Lions defense. I know that the Detroit Lions defense is underrated. They are really good, but so is their offense. Their offense has been statistically like literally almost perfect. Like Jared Goff's not turning the balls over. They're scoring in the red zone, not kicking field goals. Like this offense coming into this game, I would have expected Detroit to do more.
Anthony Davis 1-on-1 against Joker, right over the top. 44-56.
What do you got to say about that, King? Before we move on,
15 points. No, yeah, I'm going to talk because Lamar Jackson. Just to stay with the question, to see Lamar Jackson against a quality foe like the Detroit Lions. I mean, just slice them like he had a samurai sword slicing butter. Like that was an incredible performance from an efficiency standpoint, from a production standpoint, from a, I just enjoy how unconventional this kid plays football, man. I just enjoy it. To some people, it doesn't necessarily look pretty, but I'm not gonna lie,
He had one of the
man. And I
best games
gotta
of his career. He really did.
I just gotta say what it is, man. I hate bringing. Now I don't hate bringing race into it, but I love the way black people love how it looks. Black people love how unconventional he plays, because to us it's swag. That's what it looks like to us. It was one play where he did where he faked the play option for the run up the middle, pulled it back, started tucking and running it. Defense came, threw it to Mark Andrews for like a 25-yard gain. These are the type of players where it's just man, it's like the guy is out there getting away with playing backyard football, and he's out there doing it, and to do it at an efficient level. Playing backyard football
I think he only threw 5 incomplete passes or some shit like that.
Yeah, the swag in which he plays the quarterback position.
10 seconds per pass to throw, literally.
The Lakers are putting forth much more effort in this second quarter. Only down 10 Jamal Murray just went ahead and went to the cup, got an N1, put him back up 12. He's going to the free throw line with a chance to put him up 13. But I love that Lamar, how he looks. Him and Josh Allen's game is comparable to mine, but I just love the uniqueness, the distinctions that Lamar Jackson possesses, and I just enjoy to watch him play. Do we have something else on this?
Yeah.
Which was what?
Should there be some concern with the Lions? I think
absolutely.
Yeah, this one I'll agree with you.
Absolutely.
We've been disagreeing with a lot today. This one I agree with you. That to lose like that, because the Ravens haven't
you'll disagree. You'll disagree with me for the reasoning, but at least you agree with me that it should be considered.
I think though, because of the way they got the Ravens don't blow teams out. It's more like control the clock. It's more control the clock, grind me out games. The way they lost to the Ravens, the Ravens don't blow even bad teams out. They don't even blow bad teams out. They win convincingly, but they don't lose. They don't win by 30, 20, 30 plus. But you could tell they dominated the game. Kind of like what you said about the Eagles and the Lions. The
Lions look like not a good team. You forgot that they was playing good football. You literally forgot they was playing good football this season. It was actually went, that's just the Lions. And I said, well, hold up. They reckon they ain't saying that's just the Lions, but they manhandled the Lions. They wow. It was one of those
it was
really?
Bad. It was bad.
It was bad. It was really bad.
That's an embarrassment after all the hype that's surrounding you.
And exactly.
All the talk that C.J. Gardner-Johnson was giving Debo and stuff. You gotta back that up, man.
I'm gonna lie to y'all, man. Gator, you're gonna disagree with this. I tried to tell people this is not an overreaction either. Goff is a little bit above competence. He's better than Purdy. I'll give him that much. But all of this attention that he was garnering, when they were saying he was, according to PFF, what PFF stand for, Gator? Help me out.
Player Football Focus.
Player Football Focus had him as the number 1 rated quarterback in the National Football League through 6 weeks.
No, that's based on efficiency. That doesn't mean he's number 1. He's just number 1.
I'm not saying it mean. I know it doesn't mean he's the number 1 quarterback.
I just want to make it clear to everybody.
I'm just saying though. But this is what I'm making clear to everybody: that when you go ahead and throw statistics out there like that, it makes people think or consider that this guy might be something more than we give him credit for. And to me, he's not more than what we give him credit for. He is what we've been saying for the last 4 years, for the last 1 year that he was with Sean McVay in LA. Then when he got traded for Matthew Stafford, what we've been saying about him this entire time. He's a little more than competent. I wouldn't put him in the competent Brock Purdy space. He's a little more than that, but he against teams who are defensively.
Yeah, but that's fine. No, isn't that okay though?
No, I mean, no, that's not fine because come on, we gotta stop saying teams are.
Listen, Kane, and not everybody
are
can have an elite
formidable.
quarterback. There's only like 6 or 7
I'm not.
really truly.
No,
elite
see, no. See, that's where you got me
non-elite
messed up.
quarterbacks can win a
I'm
Super
not
Bowl.
saying. I'm not saying. That's where you got me messed up. That's where you got me messed up. I'm not to even bring up the word elite is disrespectful. Like I'm saying, it's that low. There's such a gap.
You don't think he's top 15?
There's such a gap between what it means to be elite and what he is. There's
really
such a gap.
Once you get to 10, it kind of gets.
And that, no. I mean, if I'm sitting here, if there's 10 trash quarterbacks or 10 quarterbacks and only 2 of them is elite because I'm a top 3 guy out of the 10, that makes me elite. No,
I need to understand like.
And I get mine.
Go ahead.
All I'm saying is, stop putting the emphasis on Jared Goff all off season, and this is the one sort of like knock that I give Dan Campbell, the head coach for the Lions. They had an opportunity to trade for Lamar Jackson, and in the offseason, he said, look, I'm happy with who I got at quarterback. I'm satisfied with him. Like, we're good over here. Imagine, you know what team you got, dog. You know what team you got. Imagine you add a Lamar Jackson to that Lions team,
But King, he wouldn't be able to control him. That's the only reason why he didn't make that move. He knows Goff will run through the walls for him. That's why he didn't make that Lamar Jackson move, though, King.
That's not true. That's not true. Lamar Jackson and Coach Harbaugh have a really. I wouldn't say Lamar Jackson be doing that. He's not that type of player.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson.
He's a good dude. He's solid. He listens. He's not.
Lamar Jackson is a student of the game. He
really is.
That's why he's so good. That's part of the reason why he's so good. He wants to learn. You gotta give Lamar Jackson a little more credit for that.
No, I won't. No,
Lamar Jackson is definitely a student of the game.
Yeah. I'm not saying that. I said Lamar Jackson,
and he's a listener. He listens well.
Lamar Jackson would do him. I don't think Lamar would fit into that system, and Lamar would have got pissed off. How about that?
So? A lot of weapons there.
Lamar Jackson wants to play football. I don't think he cares who he's playing for.
Well, that is true, but he want to play his football.
I think he'd be crazy not to have to play. He hasn't played with any receivers his whole career. Do you know what he would do with Amon-Ra St. Brown? Do you know what he would do with Sam Laporta and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs over there? It would be. Imagine if Lamar Jackson got to play with San Francisco. Imagine
and that's the one knock I give. And that's the one knock I give.
I think the Ravens are holding Lamar Jackson back. If you want me to be honest, I think anywhere else he goes he'd be an MVP candidate every year. Not that he's not right now.
That's the knock. That's the knock that I give him. Give Dan Campbell because he stuck with Jared Goff when he had an opportunity to go out there and get Lamar Jackson in the offseason when the Ravens were willing to trade him, and he stuck with Goff. That's the one knock I give him. Because Goff is going to be the reason why Detroit don't go far. Period. He's going to be the reason.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. Because there's a lot of good football teams. There's a lot of good football teams that are a Jared Goff away from being a playoff / Super Bowl caliber team. So.
I cannot get behind that statement. That was crazy.
I mean, Jared Goff went to a Super Bowl. He went to a Super Bowl, so we know he's capable. He went.
No. He went to a Super Bowl with a team that had Aaron Donald in his most prime. Okay, I'm just saying.
Who was the quarterback of that team? It doesn't matter.
Don't be surprised. Goff don't see the daylight of Super Bowl again.
Do you think if a quarterback worse than Jared Goff is on that Rams team, they still make the Super Bowl that year? No. I'm sorry,
I said worse than Goff. I said he's above competent. He's above competent.
But that's
It's above
sometimes that's
competent.
all you need. It's
I don't
sometimes all you
remember the
need.
last. I don't remember the last team to do it.
Do you think he's
Been a
better
while.
than Eli Manning?
It's been a while. I mean, if you're going
To me,
back, if
same
you're
to
going
me.
back that far,
Matt Ryan should have won a Super Bowl. Do you think he's better than Matt Ryan?
all right.
Stafford just won
Yes,
one.
no. Matt Ryan is better than Goff. Stafford is light years better than Goff. What are we talking about right now?
To me,
Light
and I'm a
years is
Giant
a-
fan. To me, Goff and Eli are the same.
I would say so myself.
Yeah.
They're the same.
Yeah. No, Jared Goff doesn't turn the ball over as much, but
How about that? That's why and Eli won 2 Super Bowls. That's why I put them the same because he won.
but then
2
we're
Super
saying Jared Goff could do it. No.
No, but I'm saying if you got to go back that far, then that means that the league has drastically changed since then from a quarterback perspective.
I think if I went through the Super Bowl winner Nick Foles won one. I could find quarterbacks. I'm just not.
Okay.
I'm not really
Nick
thinking.
Foles, well competent, and he won
Okay.
one.
He's below competent.
Then
Nick Foles is below
Eli-
competent.
Eli won two MVPs, and he's just competent, above competent.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying, like,
yeah.
if
I agree.
to me, he reminds me, and I think Philip Rivers is a better quarterback than Jared Goff. But like, if Philip Rivers was on a different football team that was a quarterback away, they really might have won the Super Bowl. So like.
Oh yeah, Philip Rivers is better than Jared Goff though, so I don't know why you brought that up.
I said a little bit. I said like I'm just like getting
Yeah.
somebody
More than a little bit.
similar idea.
More than a little bit.
Gentlemen,
More
on
than a
that,
little
And I
bit.
think the Lions
Got it.
aren't as good as a good. I just think they're just simply not as good as a football team as the Ravens right now. So yeah. So
I think you put Lamar on the Lions and Goff on the Ravens, Lamar wins that game. So I can't say they're not as good as a football team. But
I don't know. The Ravens defense would give him a little trouble. It would have been closer.
the Lakers cut the lead to 9 points at halftime. Looks like the Lakers are going to try to make a second half push. Anthony Davis with 17 points, 4 for 4 from the free throw line, 6 for 11 from the field. LeBron James with 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 for 9 from the field. And the Lakers cut it to 9, so it looks like they're going to try to make a run. Joker is doing Joker things, of course, 19 points, 9 rebounds. A great first game to the season. Let's see what the Lakers do in the second half. What we got, Gator?
Since we're talking about that already, we can continue talking about that. Who's your team, and what do you expect from them in the NBA season this year? I think Batman is gone, so I will remove him from the call. Batman, you're not here anymore, right?
He's idle right now. That's fine.
Yeah.
My team. I mean, it's one of my teams is a team, and the other one of my teams is a. You said to remove him.
I just disconnected him. He can join back. I think he
Why
said he
did
was
you-
leaving.
I mean-
because it looks
Oh, okay.
better. It looks better. It looks better. The stream looks
No. Okay. And I like when people see that as multiple people, but I mean, I guess, one is a team, one is a player. The team is the New York Knicks. I used to be a diehard Sacramento Kings fan for a long time. Eventually just grew tired of cheering for a losing club. They're finally winning again. Who knows? I might jump back on the bandwagon. However, I've been, behind the Knicks because my dad, my whole life. So, I'm riding with the Knicks right now, and New York Knicks
They trying to
are
get
my
Embiid.
team.
The rumors are they're trying to
what-
get Embiid.
What do I expect from the Knicks this season? To be completely honest with you, Thibodeau, like I said, it's his time. It's his time to go. It's Thibodeau's time to go. It just is. He already put his stamp into our program. We're tougher now. We have more camaraderie now. We play. We are all on one accord now. We like you did everything that you could to move us forward to the next phase, and you can't come with us in this next phase because in this next phase, we actually need a freaking offense that's unfreaking guardable. Like we have the personnel to do it. We have quality scorers on our team. We have quality shooters on our team. We need somebody to come in there and make us a offense that is hard to defend. Too many times we're trying to, score methodically. I feel like we should be playing sharper, faster, more cuts, more action. I'm just not seeing it. I'm not happy with how we look offensively. And until we get one of those sort of innovative kind of offenses like Denver has, like Golden State has, any one of these kind of teams where offensively they are, a really good team. And when teams have to, play against their offense, they know they're in for a long night. No team thinks like that as it pertains to the Knicks coming in, and I hate that feeling. And Tibbs can't do nothing about that because he's a defensive guy. And so unless he hires somebody and relinquishes the offense to this hiree. So I just think it's Tibbs' time to go. If Tibbs stays, then we're going to pretty much look like the same team. We're going to, probably get past the first round, make some noise in the second round, but that's as far as we go. And the player, that's my guy, is obviously LeBron James. Looking forward to the Lakers with this new roster making a push this year. How about you, Gator?
I don't got a team, but I'm gonna root for. I like rooting for underdogs, so I'll root for. I hope the King. We're gonna go with the Kings. I've been really high on the Kings. I like their roster. They're fun to watch. I'm gonna go with the Kings. I expect them to get a high seed in the regular season, to be honest, just kind of like last year. I don't know if they'll win a playoff series, but if they win one playoff series this year, I'm expecting them to go to Western Conference Finals. They're my dark horse for the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, I don't see what you see in them. Like, in terms of making a legitimate push.
I think they got better, and I think their team was young last year. I think they should have won that Warriors series. They were up 2-0, and they just weren't ready. They just weren't ready for the moment.
Yeah.
I think
they weren't ready to beat that. They weren't ready to close that.
Yeah, I think they are this year, and I think they are this year, and I think they're like one of those teams. They have really good depth, like they got a good bench. They got a good starting five, and they got like players everywhere. Like they're kind of not like really weak. And I think Keegan Murray, their rookie from last year, is going to take a big leap this year. So, like I don't see there's no like spot where I'm like yeah, they're missing a superstar, because I don't think we could put De'Aaron Fox in that top 15. It's close. I don't think we could call him a superstar yet, but
No, he's not.
But they have played
they have a
lot of depth. They have a lot of depth. So I think they're really well rounded, and I think they could grind out wins because of that, especially in the playoffs.
They got that.
Okay.
They definitely got that.
Is the super? I don't do this thing where I'm a fan of a player and I root for them. I don't do that. I think that's an NBA thing. Y'all can have that. I think that's delusional.
I love that.
I hate it.
I do it in the football.
I like players in the NFL,
Jackson.
but I would never root for a team just because I like the player. I think that is silly. Pick one team.
Nah, I want you don't wait. So you don't gotta. So you're not a fan of a player in the NFL where it's just like you would be happy if they win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, but that's not the same thing.
I thought so. I'm rooting for him, so you have to.
I'd be like, cool. Oh, cool.
Have to.
Like I'd be like, oh, cool. Julio won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. I would not be happy that the Eagles won a Super Bowl. No. Absolutely not. That is blasphemy. I think that is delusional, but you do you. Is the super team era finally behind us?
I'm more of a player fan than a team fan. But yeah,
that's because you like the NBA. I understand why. You're number one. That's where you began to like. I get it. But
yeah, my number one.
Most sports are not like that. I would say 80% of sports fans would agree with you, or like. No, NBA fans would 100% agree with you. Any NBA fan?
No, I disagree. I think most sports fans are true to their teams, but the perspective that I have on that quickly is just the fact that I don't know the agendas of these organizations. I don't know the front office. I don't know.
I don't care who's running does not matter.
To me, that matters. To me, that matters. When I.
You there? Hello?
So
what'd you say?
That's just me. I said whatever.
The whole thing missed.
No,
Whatever you just said.
I said whenever I invest myself into something, whether that's my emotions, my money, my thought process, I want to have a connection to it, and I don't have.
I do.
What
I'm more
connection?
connected to the players, not the owners, and where I don't really care about those people.
All right, so if you're more connected to the players, then you do the same thing just with your team, right? So you just need to focus how to
I
learn how
would,
to
yeah, but
do
I
it
would much
elsewhere.
rather, I would much rather like an Alex Mack win a Super Bowl over I like the franchise guys.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like I don't want like the superstar. I'm not gonna feel as much as I'm not gonna like feel good about like if Debo would have left, like I wouldn't have been rooting for him to win a Super Bowl. Like yeah, I like you, Debo. I hope you all the success, but like I'm still like the Niners are gonna be the main focus. Like why should I be worried about something else? That doesn't just like if you're like I feel like you're not a. I feel like you can't be both.
Yeah. On to the
I
next
just
one.
don't think it makes sense. Because you're like, if you're being a
On
fan of somebody, that means you're rooting for them like a lot. Like you're rooting for them to do well and succeed. So like that means you're taking away from the Knicks. Like you're a LeBron fan, but like what if LeBron's playing the Knicks?
See, but then
That's a
But
little
then
silly.
the beauty no, but the beauty in sports is the rarity in which that happens. That makes it beautiful. That makes being able to do that so beautiful.
Okay. Is the super team era finally over in the NBA?
Still hope so. As
I
of
mean, I
this
don't think it
year,
is. We still got super
as
teams.
no, we don't. No, we don't.
You don't think the Suns are a super
Because
team?
no. Well, what I'm basically getting at is
You don't think the Lakers
when
are a super team?
my number one. No, what? No, no. My number one. The thing that makes me laugh the most, even though the super team era is sort of starting to try to be behind us, the thing that makes me laugh the most about the quote unquote super team era, right, is every time I stack one of these the super teams have ruined the NBA. Oh my gosh. But these old school guys, right? This is where I love to get these old school guys. Oh, the super team era has ruined the NBA. Oh my gosh. Well, let me ask you a question then. Is this team better than the Chicago Bulls? What? Heck no. Heck no. Heck no. Oh wait, whoa. So it wasn't a problem then, huh? Oh, got you now. Or were they better than the Showtime Lakers? Oh, what? Heck no. Oh, no, of course not. Were they better than Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, and Kevin McHale? Oh, what? No. No. So stop acting like that. Stop doing that. Because every time I stack one of these super teams up from this era up against the great teams from their era or before this era, it's, oh, what? They would have had no chance in the world to beat these teams. So it's just like, so it wasn't a problem then, but it's a problem now. So shut up. You know what I mean? So it's just funny. I just always think that's just always funny to me. But to harp on it, I mean, I just feel as though I think it's behind us. I truly believe that even with this team, this big three that's in Phoenix, like we keep reiterating, it's not the best fit in the world. Like nowhere near close to that.
Would you say the Bulls had 3 of the top 10 players in the NBA during the time?
Michael was, Scotty was.
Scotty was a
Dennis
top
Rodman?
10 NBA player?
Absolutely. In the 90s? Oh my goodness, was he? 100%. Scotty Pippen was really, really freaking good. Scotty was
It might be
really
more
good.
interesting though, King, when there's like ones. I agree. If that's the case, that's a super team. I agree with you, but there's something about like David versus Goliath that brings viewers in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And I feel like in the NBA it's just oversaturated now. There's just too many super teams, so it's like Okay, like now there's there's 4 dominant teams, and then everybody else is just so mediocre. It's like, why even watch at this point?
See, I disagree with that though.
I mean,
disagree with that.
I mean, there is.
I think
It's kind of clear and obvious who's going to be in the Western and Eastern Conference.
Golden State. But these are the kinds of teams though. The way that they are put together right now. If you want to say aside from Phoenix, and we could put them to the side, but all of these other teams that are really good is sort of the normal state.
I mean, I kind of agree with you. If you're complaining about it now, you shouldn't be. If you're complaining about it now, you should not say it wasn't just as bad back in the day, because I would think it was actually probably worse back in the day, because teams were winning the NBA Finals like the same teams were winning it almost every year.
Over and over.
Yeah, over and over. So like,
Magic Johnson went to 9 titles. Jordan went to 6. With Magic Johnson had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Kareem and Magic is both in the top 5 players of all time. I
kind of agree with that. I think that's a little silly.
It's just funny how
it's
when I stack the super teams up from this era to teams from the past, they would have got scraped off the floor, destroyed by that. So then what was that to you? So then what was that to you? It's just hilarious to me, but we can move on.
I agree. We can argue actually that it might have been worse back then. Not as many super teams, but there was definitely a clear dominant super team that was literally running the NBA.
Clear dominant.
I think maybe I think that's probably the issue that they're having. There's more super teams today. I don't know if that's a bad or good thing. I would have to really sleep on that.
That's funny.
I don't know if that's
as the Lakers cut it into 5 and Denver called the timeout. Wow. Lakers were down as much as I think as high as 18 points.
I need them to pull that out for me, because that was my prediction. So I'm not the basketball analysis, man. Everyone's taking Denver. I ain't the basketball analysis, but I understand situations, you know.
You just understand sports in general and what it's supposed to feel like. Don't try to make you feel like you know what you talk about in this basketball thing.
There's one thing I know about sports is win-loss. Death taxes and downplaying after like highs and lows, like lows after a win. Did you see the Huskies this weekend? Bro, you could use that in college football all the time. If a college football team had a big win the weekend prior, take the other team the next week. These college football teams, after a huge win, come and play like absolute crap the next week. It's literally like death and taxes. I swear to God. Who is your MVP for the 2020? Who's your MVP right now? I think it's clearly Patrick Mahomes, but I have a feeling you're going to say somebody else. So I think it's Patrick Mahomes. He hasn't done anything necessarily to like be like, wow, oh my God, he's having a better year than last year. It's just that consistency, man. I mean, he literally just carries that football team. Like, I know the defense is playing well, but like the consistency that they're showing week in, week out, like you just know what to expect with them.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
They're only gonna get better.
There are only 3 to
There's
me.
Only 2 right now.
To me, there are only 3 clear-cut MVPs in the NFL, and I'll name them all 3. And this is why I'll name them first. Jason Kelce, center for the Philadelphia Eagles.
That'll never happen.
Christian McCaffrey, running back for the San Francisco 49ers, and Tyreek Hill, wide receiver
I like that
for the Miami Dolphins.
I like Tyreek Hill. I like that one.
These 3 guys.
Before you finish, you're gonna like this. No, I know you're shaking your head. I would say there's 2, and I think the other one's Lamar Jackson. Go ahead. I'll let you finish though. I think it's Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. It's gonna be a quarterback. So
as much as I love Lamar Jackson,
the people you're mentioning are offensive player of the years. The people you're
as much as I love Lamar Jackson, it's obvious that he hasn't been playing at an MVP level, all season long.
The stats are there. He looking good.
But to me, it's those 3 guys, and this is why I hate the NFL when it comes down to this MVP thing, because they need to just go out there and just say it to the public. Only a quarterback
That's not
can win
true.
the
They
MVP.
gave it to AP. They gave it to AP. If you break
this
records,
is my point though. This is my point though.
like Cooper Kupp, you're like Cooper Kupp's a good example, right? Is that what you're getting at?
He didn't win MVP from the stadium.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right. So this is what I'm saying.
Triple crown.
It takes what it takes for another position to win MVP, because the guys voting, whomever they are, for whatever reason, can only calculate real numbers versus be able to calculate what's happening on the football field. They just need to go out there and say it as an NFL. Just go out there and say, unless, and I'm not even being exaggerating or joking. I'm being dead serious. Put it out there. Unless another position does something unworldly, the MVP is going to go to the quarter. Just put it out there so that we don't have to.
Do they need to say it though?
Yes,
we kind of know that
because we get invested into like real football guys. When they see guys like Tyreek Hill carrying the Miami Dolphins offense, when they see guys like Christian McCaffrey carrying the 49ers offense, when they see guys like Cooper Kupp that one year and this year with Jason Kelsey, how he's running that offensive line, when they see guys like that, they get so excited, like, dude, this guy is the best player in the National Football League at any position. But all of that excitement just gets blown to dust because the player gets no recognition for it, and from the perspective of actually being crowned the best player in the NFL with the highest honor there is to receive in the NFL, which is the MVP. So they just need to go ahead and go out there just for the real football guys, the real analytical guys that really understands this game and really knows who the real MVPs are. They just need to just say it so that we can stop getting excited about who the real MVPs are and in the hopes that they actually have a chance. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
We got our quick takes. How will the new load management rules affect the NBA season? I think it's gonna quick take on it. I think it's gonna be a lot better. I really like it. I don't have much else to like. It's a quick take. I think it's great for the league. We need the league is obviously better when the superstars are playing. I don't know why this thing was even normalized. I don't know who normalized this. Like, these guys are getting paid to play basketball. You should be out there. Like, people pay tickets to go see the superstars play basketball.
Yeah. I honestly, shoot, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to affect, man, because these guys, they care about these individual awards now. So having to actually play 65 games, these guys are going to go out there, force it, and I'm really interested to see.
I love it. I absolutely love this because you're right. They care about it because it gets them paid. If they get a special reward, they get more money. Like, obviously they're gonna get more money. If you win Defensive Player of the Year, if you win Offensive Player of the Year, whatever it is, you could really get an extra $10 million because of that. Like, when it comes to contract negotiations, like, it's only good for the players too. If you're putting up more stats, if you're playing more games and putting up more stats, it just looks better. When it comes to contract time, it's going to look better for you as well. You're probably going to get paid out more. They're not going to want to pay. The owners are not going to want to pay $60 million to a guy who can only play 40 games a season. They're just not going to want to do that. I think it can only help the players besides the injury standpoint. But, like, there's no history. There's no, like, math to this where, like, there's no, like, science behind them being injured because they're playing more games. Like, that's just a normal thing. Like, obviously, the more you play, the potential for an injury is there, but there's no science to say playing more games gets you injured. No, there's
That's
no
wrong.
science.
That's wrong. That's wrong. There's such thing as wear and tear. That's exact. It's called wear and tear. That's literally what it's called. I mean, that's a fundamental scientific, thing. But again,
Wear and tear is different than actual like ligament, like actual injuries. That's just your body
that comes
rejuvenating.
from wear and tear. There are two
Then
forms
the
of injuries that can
NBA
take.
has to shorten the season. There's no excuses. Shorten the season then. I don't want to hear this. I don't
I'm not.
I'm done with that. Shorten the season
I'm
then.
not. I'm not. I'm not.
I know you're just
Listen.
telling me. I know you're just
Yeah, I'm
telling
just
me. I know you're just no. I'm mad because it's annoying. I'm mad because to me that's why I don't watch the NBA. It's really frustrating to me. While hockey players can play 82 games, no complaints. They getting pucks to his face. No baseball players getting hit playing 162 games.
It's different. It's
Oh my
different.
God. I don't care. No,
they're not acrobats.
I don't
Hockey
care.
players are not acrobats. When you're an acrobat, when you're playing an acrobatics, when you're playing an acrobatic sport, there's more wear and tear on jumping up and down, exploding off the ground, doing all this crazy stuff.
Tell that to the guys who played in the 90s.
No, you see, they played a different game entirely, though.
No,
and that's why I always say...
There's always excuses when it comes to these new guys.
It's the truth. It's the truth. And that's why I say that they can't compete with us. Because if you look at the pace of play from the 90s to today, they expect guys to get up and down the court on the guys in the 90s, they walked the ball up the court, put their back toward the defender, and called the play, and played methodical, played slow, played like just smart, slow. Now these coaches are so lazy. They just want guys to just up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. No slowing the game down. No like the pace of play. When you look at the pace of play in today's game versus back then, it's ridiculous.
If the game is changing, the owner, the CEO or the owner or the whoever runs the NBA, if they have to whatchamacallit too. Then if the game is changing, then they change rules all the time. There's rule changes all the time in every sport. In every sport, there's always adjustments that can be made if the game is changing a certain way. It always happens. So either cancel back-to-backs if it's getting that bad. If it's getting this bad where people are they are letting players sit out making these $1 million contracts. That was not part of the negotiations. I know that for a fact. When they were like negotiating contracts in terms like, oh, you're gonna be able to sit out 30 games. Like that's just either cancel back-to-backs, shorten the NBA season. There's nothing wrong with a 60-game NBA season. It sucks as fans that we don't get to watch as many games, but if you're concerned about player safety that much, I think that is way more beneficial than having these players sit out games. So I love these load management rules. I want to see the stars play. That's why we love the sport, right? That's why we love the sport. We want to see LeBron James. Oh, maybe not LeBron now. He got an excuse. He's 40 years old. He got some excuse. But we want to see KD on the floor. We want to see Kawhi Leonard on the floor, man. We want to see these guys play. Imagine if you're a fan. Imagine if you're a fan of the game, and I'm not even using this as an excuse, but this is real life. This is stuff that happens. This is if we're talking about a normal life, forget the type of money that these guys make. Let's just talk about the fans and the people who love the sport of basketball. You got money for one game a year. You go to the game, and your favorite player is not playing. Some people can only see their favorite team. A lot of people that are out of market. If you like the
magic
Warriors,
never leaves you when you stay with the
you
Disney
like the
Resorts
Warriors
collection.
and you live in Cleveland, and the only game you could go to is if they're playing Cleveland, and Steph Curry's not playing that night, and you had because they don't know. You don't know when you buy these tickets in advance. You don't know. You really don't know if a superstar is going to be playing or not. Injury is a totally different story, obviously. But load management is just what would you if they didn't do this, right? How would you feel about it? Would you change something? Would you, in your mind, change something? This should have been a longer topic. Would you change anything, or would you have just been cool letting them sit out whenever they want? And you could be honest. That's just your opinion. I really personally don't care. That's just how I feel. And I'm very passionate about that take on it. Because of how much money these dudes make. Most people do not get paid to miss days of work. And that's what it is. It's a job. We can call it it's their job to be out there if they're healthy enough.
Right. Right. If they're healthy enough, like you said, I like that enough.
Most of the time they are. These coaches now are,
Right.
if you ask LeBron half the games he sat out last year, he probably wanted to play. He probably felt good enough to play. They're doing it under their, and that's what's
No,
weird
he was
to me.
legit. He legit suffered a foot injury.
No. Well, I'm just
He
saying.
legit out.
Forget. All right, I'll use a different. And
Okay.
normally,
Yeah,
when they
yeah, I know
sit
what you
these
mean.
players out, they do it a lot
Right.
on back to back. So I get that.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
if you
yeah.
ask Steph Curry off a back to back, do you want to play tonight? Or you feel good? He'll say yeah.
Yeah, he's going to say yeah. He's going to say yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
owners are protecting their investments, and I get that.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I understand it, but there's got to be some type of negotiations here. So that's why I kind of like what they're doing. I think it's kind of unfair. I think it's kind of unfair what they did, but as a fan, I love it.
I agree. As a fan, I'm all in.
I think they took the cop-out route. I don't think they want to shorten the season, and I don't think they want to have strict rules about this.
No, they can't. They can't shorten the season.
It's a money.
A lot of contracts are tied into the expected dollar that's to come from
I
from
get it.
years ahead.
Or lengthen the season and let them sit out 50% of the games. Make it 120 games and let them sit out 50%. I'll be cool with that.
That might actually be.
Then I don't care.
Oh, yeah.
Then I don't care.
Something.
Like if you're still playing 60 games, cool. I'm cool with that. If you're missing half of a season, you're playing 40 games, get paid $100 million. Nah, I'm not cool with that, bro. I'm not cool with that.
On to something with that. I like the one idea.
I wish I got to work my full salary for a year and only got to work half the year. I would love that. You would love that too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That is an interesting.
And I know life's
point,
not
though.
fair. I'm not complaining about my situation. I'm just saying. I'm just using some general context of everyday life. That's what it is. Whether you want to call it out or not, that's what it is. These guys are getting paid a full year to work half their job, or 60% of their job. If you ask anybody in the NBA, they would say, this is my profession. This is what I do for work. You're telling me you can't go out there and play an extra 30 games? You're crying about an extra 30 games? It really is a joke. I would say it even if they were doing it in hockey or the NBA. I would just say it's not an NBA thing. I'm not attacking NBA players. That's just what it is. It's happening in the NBA. It's not happening in any other sport. If it was happening in other sports, I would say it's just as ridiculous. I would say it's just
how many
as
games are
ridiculous.
in the NHL in the season?
The same amount.
82.
Yeah, and they play the same schedule, back-to-backs and everything.
See, the thing is, when you only put this is the thing, right? You see how with hockey, right?
The wear and tear on hockey legs are way more than the wear and tear on basketball legs, though. So
the only reason why I
it's very
disagree is
similar.
because
It's very similar.
I mean it's similar, but it's similar.
And the cardio isn't even close.
But where I disagree is just physically, when you add skates into the equation, from an endurance standpoint, I would say it's a little more grueling than basketball. But from a wear and tear standpoint, because guys are constantly
I agree.
exploding up and hitting that hardwood, constantly stomping their foot into the hardwood on every drive.
I agree.
But with hockey, you're sliding on ice with blades, so that takes a lot.
I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. But let's say a hockey player missed 10 games. So let's say they just wanted to miss.
That's the point I was going to make, though. How much minutes in the hockey game? What is it, 60?
60, yeah.
And you said they only play top guys only play 24 minutes out of 60?
Yeah.
So,
but that's because of this is a little different because that's because of how hard, cardio-wise, how hard it is to play hockey.
I got that.
It equals out to what the NBA. So, an NBA cardio in the NBA isn't as drastically bad. I'm not saying it's easy. It's not. I've ran up and down a basketball court. It's hard as hell. It's hard as hell. It's not
and at the pace at which they're playing now.
Let me get that out of the way first. But it equates to a hockey shift in hockey. So what I mean by that is 1/3 of a game in hockey is equivalent to 4/6 of a game in the NBA. It's very similar.
Okay.
Cardio.
I'll defer to you on that.
We got to move on, though.
Okay.
I definitely want to talk about that again, though. That is a very interesting topic. And I really want to hear other people's opinions on that as well. Because you know me, I'm very strict on that. Like, you can't convince me that these dudes should be sitting out. Draymond Green will miss the season opener versus the Bulls.
Suns, brother. Yeah. Suns. After this game, this Lakers and Denver game, Golden State Warriors take on the Phoenix Suns. Should be a really fun game to watch. I think that's going to be huge for the Phoenix Suns, to be honest. And we can move on from this topic. Whatever take you guys. I think
that makes me want to take. That makes me want to real quick. That makes me want to take the Suns in this game, even though it's in Golden State, I think. Yeah, it is in Golden State. And Golden State is favorites without Draymond Green. That's crazy. I would not expect the Suns to win that game pretty handily without.
Because the Suns.
People don't realize how good if you're an NBA fan, you should know, but how good he is on the defensive end. How is Golden State getting stops tonight?
Well, it's because
small line. They already have a small lineup.
It's because the Suns' roster is completely new, so that's the reason why.
Yeah. I don't.
Literally, the only two guys. I want to say
40 tonight.
Yeah, he's gonna have to put on the show. Right. Clay too's gonna have to step up.
Can the Steelers continue to win in an unwatchable fashion? I like the way you said that because it really is boring to watch, but they're a really good football team. They play good defense.
I don't even want to say it's necessarily boring.
Nah, it's boring.
Unless
you're watching TJ Watt play, it's boring.
Do you equate? All right, would you say boring in the word? All right. So if you was watching hockey and guys were slipping, sliding all over the place, when they shoot the hockey puck, it's going so high up that it's hitting the fiberboard in the back of the net, it's going up. Like, if it looks absolutely would you say that that's boring to watch?
No. Wait.
Exactly. Like, that's what the Steelers. Like, the Steelers are like. It's comical. Like, is that like it's actually not unwatchable more than it is like.
I guess.
Wow.
But like, you like, really wow. When you have that list.
When
you have that list of games that you can only put 4 games on your screen, are you putting the Steelers game on there? Probably not, right?
Yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. At this point,
here we go.
At this point, it's really become really comical. It's really become really comical. I wouldn't say
it's funny. They do have a sneaky good team. Like, if Kenny Pickett, they just got Deontay Johnson back, and he had a big night. So I don't. Maybe they're gonna start. I don't know. Najee Harris kind of looked like he finally got it going. Oh no! Are they sneaky good? Are they sneaky good?
I will say
they're 4-1 since that Niner game. Since that week they're 4-1. Only lost to the Ravens.
I will say that in the fourth quarter, Kenny Pickett made some throws. Looked pedestrian the first 3 quarters. In that fourth quarter, he made some plays now to get him down that field. And I was actually impressed. So,
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that.
We will.
What team has impressed you the most? Quick take. This one's tough because, to be honest, no team has. I think every team's a little weird.
Cleveland Browns to me. It's the Cleveland Browns.
Even with their performance this weekend?
It's the Cleveland Browns for me. When you give any football team the ball as much as the Cleveland Browns did on Sunday, because your quarterback can't sustain drives, a team is going to score.
They scored 38
Like,
points. What do you mean?
but again,
How did they
with
not
this
sustain
guy,
drives?
Miles Garrett got a sack fumble that was
And a block.
defensive touchdown.
He blocked a
There
field
was a
goal, too.
block.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. I'm pretty sure the Browns scored a little bit, but
a lot of points were scored in unconventional fashion. There was one where Jerome Ford on it's like the very first play of the game.
he broke it.
He took a screen to the house, like that game. But outside of that, for the bulk of that game, Cleveland's offense continued 3-and-out.
Gardner Minshew went crazy though.
3-and-out.
They weren't getting any stops though. Like
it could be anybody. No,
do you think last weekend was their Super Bowl? Is that why? You think the Niner game was like the Browns Super Bowl?
No, bro, I'm telling you.
Okay. When
you give anybody the ball when you give somebody bro, there was a lot of times where the Cleveland Browns defense had what's his name? Gardner Minshew struggling out there. Like there was plenty of possessions where Gardner Minshew struggled to get anything going. But the possessions were coming so quickly for both teams. Like it was insane. Like you look up, Colts had the ball. You turn around, look back, Cleveland had the ball. It's like, what the heck is going on in this game? And so I completely give Cleveland a pass when you don't got Deshaun Watson out there to sustain drives, no matter how good your defense is, because the Cleveland Browns played, believe it or not, they played really good defense on a lot of possessions. However, there were some possessions where they were just absolutely gassed. Like they were out there on the field, it seemed like all day long. And so to me, the Cleveland Browns win, especially when they get Deshaun Watson back, that defense alongside Deshaun Watson's ability to convert first down, sustain drives, sustain time of possession, to give the defense that really good defensive rest, to get back on the field to play some really good defense. To me, the Browns, I'm saying this, I said it with the Jets. Look out for the Jets. And I'm also saying this with the Browns. The Browns are here, bro. Like, this team has been really impressive to me.
Yeah, if Deshaun Watson can get it healthy and get it together, I wouldn't say he necessarily was playing good when he was healthy, but if he could get back to just
he just was playing
confident.
Yeah, he just was. And then when it mattered most,
somewhat, even 70% of how he used to, like how good he actually was over in Houston, it could be a scary team. They could make a little run.
Absolutely.
They remind me of like that Niners team back in when they lost to the Rams, when the Rams won the Super Bowl that year. They weren't the best team, but they played really good defense, got better and better every year, made a little run. They pulled off an upset in Green Bay and kind of squeaked into the NFC title game and almost made the Super Bowl run that year. The Niners, this Browns team reminds me of that. They remind me of that team a little bit. They're obviously better at the quarterback position, but like they remind me, like their defense, the way they play the game, run first, run first, control the clock, play defense. They remind me a lot of that team. Okay, I'm gonna say Houston. I thought they were gonna be horrible, and they really got a shot to win that division. I can't wait to see them play the Jags. I want to see how they play against the Jags whenever that is. I'm interested in that game because I feel like if they can beat Jacksonville, they could really win that division. It's going to be tough, but I'm very impressed by them and C.J. Stroud and how young that team is and how they're performing. I'm not impressed with any other team. You said the Browns. That's like the only other one I can really think. I think a lot of teams have been playing poorly this year. I think a bunch of there's not like teams that are like really impressing me. A lot of the teams in the NFL this year are very inconsistent. Amazing one week. We don't know who they are the very next week. So there hasn't really been a lot of consistency. Even the Eagles, who are clearly now the most dominant team in the NFC, they lost to the Jets. They almost lost to the Commanders. Like even them, they haven't looked as consistent. And then they do what they do against the Dolphins. It's just like, so I'm gonna say Houston just because I did not expect it.
Okay, that's a very pick.
Thursday night preview. We got the Bucks.
Lakers are down 7 points going into the fourth quarter. Let's see what they can do in this fourth quarter.
We'll close out the show here soon. We'll talk about the Monday night game, Thursday night game. Make our predictions real quick. So we got Bills and the Bucks. Is this a must-win for the Bills? 100%. I'll make this quick. 100% because they are 4-3 on the. If they lose this game, they'd be 4-4, behind the Dolphins, behind the Chiefs, behind the Chargers, behind a lot of teams. Probably not winning the division at that point. And their schedule, I might have to bring their schedule up next show. The Bills have I think they got a thing coming up where they got to play the Bengals, the Eagles, and the Chiefs like back to back, and Dallas. Like the schedule's not looking good. This is a must win for them.
Wow, I agree. It's now or never. It's now or never to show us. And I say must win not because if they lose they don't make the playoffs.
I think their coach's job's on the line if they lose this game.
I don't say must win in terms of them making a playoff push, but I do say must win in terms of
the AFC is. Who knows?
I say must. I don't look me. I'm just saying this is my take.
Yeah.
I think they still make the playoffs if they lose. I just say if it's a must win in terms of if they lose, forget about it. I'm off the Bills bandwagon in terms of my Super Bowl prediction pick. Like you don't lose this game at home, and I'm expecting you to end up in a Super Bowl, not against these Buccaneers. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
like
Atlanta just beat them on the road. Like Desmond Ritter. Do you know Desmond Ritter? He hasn't been playing well, but do you know Desmond Ritter led the league in passing yards the last 3 weeks? That's wild, right?
Yeah, he led the league in
passing yards in the NFL the last 3 weeks.
Last week? Just this past week?
The last 3 weeks combined.
It wasn't Mahomes this past week?
No, last 3 weeks combined, like total. If you add up the last 3 weeks.
Oh.
That's wild, right?
I
told you they weren't a run for a football team.
It seems like the head coach, Arthur Smith, really likes Desmond. I don't even know his name.
He's been playing well.
Desmond Ritter.
Ever since that London game, he's been playing really well. Not like to the point where I'm like, oh my god, like this guy. But like he's playing competent. You can see it in Drake London's stats. How can the Bulls pull off an upset? They just got it. They just got to not turn the ball over because Josh Allen's gonna give them one. They just can't turn the ball over. That's it. I think they not necessarily. I think we're past the point where I think the Bills are like this crazy good football team. They are gonna destroy you. Like no, this team is struggling just to score right now. Like they're struggling just to stay to get first down. So like, as long as the Buccaneers just don't turn the ball over, the Buccaneers the Bills defense is hurt like really bad. Like they're good. I expect Tampa to score like between 14 and 17 points. So as long as they don't turn the ball over, they'll be in the game. I don't think they need to do anything crazy. Just play. Just don't turn the ball over. Protect the football.
I agree with that. I mean, but I don't think it's going to be enough. But you had to answer the question.
The question is, how can they pull off an upset? I probably do expect Baker to throw one, but that's how they're going to do it.
Moving on. I don't see it. The way they could, I would say, make Josh Allen look like how a lot of these defenses so far this season was able to make him look. Well, not a lot, but a couple, which was flustered. And Todd Bowles, he's capable. Todd Bowles is capable. Now, will he do it with this personnel? We got to wait and see. But that's their chance. If they could fluster Josh Allen for 60 minutes or for the time of possession that he has it for, and that gives them a shot. And like you said, to add to it, take care of the football. They got a shot.
Yeah, who do you got? I got the Bills.
Denver, 10 minutes, 30 seconds left. 84-90, Denver's ahead. Who do I got where? I got Bills.
You got the Bills? Okay. You're not going to go crazy?
No.
Okay. Top 5 AFC teams. You want me to go first, or this is the last
Yeah, you
topic of the
guys.
show? We're gonna do our rankings, our power rankings. Normally we do top 5 NFL teams. I switched it up a little bit this week. I'm kind of, since we're almost at the midway point of the season, another week or two we'll be at the midway point. I'm just curious who are top. Let's add some other teams in the mix. I'm kind of curious to see who we got outside of that top 5, and who we're high on going into the midway point of the season and looking forward towards the playoffs. So who you got? Top five AFC, and I got a little graphic up for the rankings as well. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
Yeah, go ahead and take it first.
Okay, I got the Chiefs are the best team in football. They are number 1. Number 2, I got the Dolphins. I think they're still the best. They're still the second best. Let me just do the list real quick. Then I got the Ravens at 3. I got the Charge. No. Okay, wait. I'm gonna have to think about this for a second. Now it gets a little tough. Oh, I'll put the Bills at 4. I still think they got that team. I'll put the Browns at 5. So I got my top 5 list is Chiefs, Dolphins, Ravens, Bills, Browns. And I don't think I left anybody out.
Okay. And under Big Dog Nation, nobody that you see on this show is, let me change that. Under Big Dog Nation, everybody that you see on this show is your everyday sports fans. So join the conversation. Come into our Discord when we are live so that you could be on the live show giving your sports takes with us. This show was made for you. Now, my top 5 AFC NFL teams through 7 weeks. Number 1 is going to have to go to the Kansas City Chiefs. At number 2, I'm going to go ahead and put those Baltimore Ravens all the way up there at 2. And at 3, I'm going to go out there on a limb and put the Cleveland Browns, yes, I said it, the Cleveland Browns as the 3rd best team in the AFC. And for my number 4 pick, I'm going to go ahead and go with your Miami Dolphins. And then after the Miami Dolphins, the Buffalo Bills.
There was somebody that you put in there that oh no, we had the same 5, just different order. Okay.
Oh, you had the Browns in yours?
Yeah, I had them 5.
Oh, okay.
I gotta see more from them when they get Deshaun Watson back. I need to see their offense do a little more, because it won't be enough in the playoffs. I think the Bills or the Dolphins would knock them out if they can't score. So, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. I think they're in the top 5 in the AFC. I think they're a playoff team right now. Okay, now let's go to the NFC, and we will close the show out after this. I'll start again. I got this is easy as of right now, clear as day, especially with the Niners losing the way they did the last 2 weeks. The Eagles are number 1. I can't put with the way the Lions lost, I can't put them in front of the Niners, so I got the Niners at 2. I got the Lions at 3 still. And then I got Seattle at 4. And I'm going to put the Dallas Cowboys at 5. So Eagles, Niners, Lions, Seahawks. I'm liking the Seahawks are only 1 game behind San Fran. And Dallas has still got to be in there. They in the top 5. Dallas in the top 5.
In the NFC, my number 1 team is the Philadelphia Eagles. My number 2 team, I'm going to go out there on a limb and downgrade the San Francisco 49ers and go ahead and put the Seattle Seahawks as my number 2 team in the NFC. Then I'll go ahead and put the San Francisco 49ers at 3. At 4, I'm going to have to go out there and say that the Dallas Cowboys are your 4th best team in the NFC. And at 5, I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions as your 5th best team in the NFC. I feel as though if Dallas matched up with the Detroit Lions, I feel pretty confident that they get that done.
Those are our top 5 lists. We both had the same teams in our list, just in a different order. So that is really interesting. No, we didn't really put any dark horses in there. That's a little weird. Normally, at least one or two teams are a little separated. That was a good show. Hey, look, see, I know. In the beginning of the show, some of those topics go longer, but I get it together. I'll figure it out, King. We didn't miss one topic.
I might gotta take the lead because I do a phenomenal job. I do a phenomenal job forcing us to not, because we still exasperate the topics. We exasperate the topics, but I do a phenomenal job exasperating topics and moving on right on time. I'm like the greatest host. I'm like Molly Kemp. I'm like one of these guys.
If I sped us up, we wouldn't have been perfect at 9:30.
I hear you.
That's what I'm saying. It was perfect. It was perfect.
Was you on the YouTube? Was your reaction on the YouTube, or you wasn't really watching it?
Yeah, I have the chat up. No, not a lot going on today. Just Mozdog saying what's up.
Okay.
I always have it up. I got 3 screens. I got 3 screens. I got it.
I need to get with that program. Thank you for everybody that watched, that tuned in. Of course, these clips will be up, and a lot more coming. A lot of production things coming for UBD. I mean, just stay on the lookout for the show, for the growth of the show overall. It's gonna be awesome. Make sure you get that clip, letting people know, that this is a sports show where, for the voiceless, that you got the clip. Make sure you get that clip. I sort of did that so you could throw that in there. And remember, we got to make our own so that we can get that thrown in there as well. Look out for a lot of things coming on the Big Dog Sports is out. Thank you, everybody.